Now today we will go to the another region of the what upper limb. That another region in connection with the what myology only. So myology of arm. Myology of arm or brachium. Brachium means arm. So in order to know the myology of arm, first and foremost thing you should know this is what is said to be as the arm. This portion is the arm of the free upper limb. So this will be the limit of the thorax. Same thing you will be going to get. This is what the back portion of the arm. So this is the back portion. This is the front anterior view of arm, and this will be the what arm only, posterior view. Now you have to see, as usual with the elsewhere in the what other areas where you will be going to deal, skin will be there. The skin of the water that of the arm, that too in front, it is continued from the water above. The skin of the water that of the, you can say, front part of the shoulder. The skin of the arm as it descends down after crossing the elbow, it becomes as a water skin of the forearm. So this is the downward descent or a descent of that skin. The skin of the water that I think you can say front of arm, skin of front of arm, as it runs towards laterally, it becomes the water skin of the lateral aspect of the arm. The skin of the arm, as it runs towards medially, it will be going to become the skin of the what? Medial aspect of the arm, which is very much delicate. The skin of the back portion of the arm, it is continued from the water that is the skin of the, from above, the skin of the water that is the, you can say, back portion of the shoulder. The skin of the water that of the arm as it descends down, that too from means at the region posterior aspect. After crossing the elbow, it becomes the water skin of the back portion of the forearm. But the one peculiarity of the skin of the arm, in the front and medially, it is the divide of the water hair follicles, but laterally and posteriorly, you will be getting the water hair follicles. In male, it is more. In female, they are there hairs, but those are called as the valvating hairs. Now, after the water that of the skin, not only you can say front, but also behind, medially, laterally, from about down. This will be the skin. Now, second part, what we will be going to get the superficial fascia. Now, to understand superficial fascia, you will be having this diagram what you have here. This is the cut section of the water that of the, where you can say arm, where you will be going to get, this is the skin, and you will be going to have, this is what the superficial fascia. Superficial fascia. This will be the superficial fascia. Now the superficial fascia of the water that of the arm, it is nothing but the one which will be there, very much close to the water that of the skin, and it will be having of that of the, you can say, fatty deposition at one point more, one point less, and in one region it is too much less, and one region it will be the water abundant. This you can say superficial fascia, it will be containing the water that of the, you can say, areolar tissue, and it is very much closely adherent to the skin of that region, that is the brachium. Then comes deep fascia. So this is what the deep fascia. A deep fascia, as the name itself suggests, it will be quite away from the water that of the skin, as well as the water that of the superficial fascia, but it is separating from the water underlying structures which are present, bones, muscles, vessels, everything. So this deep fascia of the water arm is called as, that is the third, deep fascia, is called as brachial fascia. Brachial fascia. Now this brachial fascia is the water deep fascia of the arm. Now this deep fascia, it is continuing from in the front region from above, the water that of the deep fascia of that of the deltoid or the deltoid fascia, which is continued from the water that of the deep fascia of the neck. As this deep fascia or the brachial fascia descends down in the anterior region. After crossing the elbow, it becomes the water that is the deep fascia of the water that of the forearm. That is what is said to be as the deep fascia of the antebrachial fascia in the forearm. Now the deep fascia of the water that of the arm, as it runs towards laterally, it will be going to become as a water deep fascia of the water lateral aspect of the arm. The brachial fascia, as it runs towards medially, it will be going to become the deep fascia of the medial aspect of the arm or the brachial fascia, which is very much bit thin compared to the what other areas. Now this you can say brachial fascia, at the medial aspect it will be going to have an abundant amount of the water that of the fat in between the superficial fascia and the water, the deep fascia. Deep fascia, that is called a brachial fascia. Very much abundant. In that abundant amount of the fat, cutaneous nerves are there, cutaneous arteries are there, cutaneous veins are there, cutaneous nerve fibers are also present. Now the deep fascia of the water, the back portion of the water arm from above, it is continuing from the water that of the deltoid fascia, which is continued from the water that of the, you can say, deep fascia of the neck. As it is the deep fascia of the water arm, in the posterior view descends down after crossing the water that of the elbow joint. It will be going to become as the deep fascia of forearm, which goes in favor of antebrachial fascia at the posterior aspect of the forearm. So this is what the deep fascia of the arm or the brachial fascia. Now this brachial fascia is what one peculiarity it will be having. It is not uniform in their density throughout. It will be what thin at one, thick at one point. It is thin in front, much more thinner in the water medial aspect, and it is a posterior part and the water lateral part, it becomes a little bit thicker. So because of this fact, when you will be going to palpate the water that of the arm, front part and the medial part is smoother than the water lateral part and the posterior part, one fact. Second, loading of the fat between the superficial fascia and the deep fascia is also more in the water front and medially compared to the water lateral part and the posterior part. Now the deep fascia of the water that of the arm or the brachial fascia, it will be not stop here only. It will be going to run in between the muscles, which are performing a different function. In order to know this, which will be running in between the muscles, Consider this is as a what humerus because it is the TS of arm. So you know in the osteology you will be going to have the what two borders. One is the what medial border and another is the lateral border. So for this you have to do like this. This is the anterior part, this is the posterior part, this is your medial, this is your lateral. So this intermuscular septa is the what medial intermuscular septa. Intermuscular septa. This becomes a what lateral intermuscular septa. So what is the medial intermuscular septa? Medial intermuscular septa is a what? It is a one septa which is continued from the what deep fascia of the what arm or the brachial fascia, which is running inside the water muscles, which are performing entirely a what different. One is a what flexion and another with the what extension, which are there respectively in front and behind in the arm. And then this intermuscular septum, medial intermuscular septum runs towards the what? Medial border. Medial border of humerus. Where you have studied this thing in the osteology, it comes and gets attached. Then the lateral intermuscular septum is also the same. The lateral intermuscular septum is nothing but it is a continued part of the what brachial fascia. Brachial fascia. It will be running in between the what muscles which are performing entirely a different function. That is, in front you have got the flexor, behind you will be going to have an extensor of the what that of the elbow joint, which are mainly acting on that joint. They are lying here. So after running in between the muscles, it will be going to come and gets attached to this border of the humerus. This will be called as the lateral border of humerus, the one which you have dealt in the osteology of the what humerus in shaft, lower end also. It comes and gets attached. Now, after attaching these intermuscular septa of the what deep fascia, deep fascia will be not going to keep silent. It will be going to run in over the water, anteromedial and anterolateral surface of the water that of the humerus, even the posterior surface of the water that of the humerus, to become as a water periosteum. Periosteum. So, periosteum is nothing but it is the deep fascia of that particular region. If it is belonging to the what arm, periosteum of humerus is a deep fascia of the arm. That is the brachial fascia. That is the meaning. So these things are there. Now the question comes, what is the importance of this intermuscular septas? Intermuscular septas important is nothing but they gives rise to the what compartment in the regions. So the one which will be present in front of medial intermuscular septum, in front of the what that of the lateral intermuscular septum, as well as in front of the what periosteum of the what that of the humerus, which will be covering anteromedial and anterolateral surface. Now this compartment is called as the what anterior compartment of arm, or even it is called as a what flexor compartment of arm. Now the one which will be there behind the water that of the lateral intermuscular septum, behind the water that of the posterior intermuscular septum, behind the water that of the posterior surface of that of the humerus, and behind the water periosteum of that of the humerus, but fully under the cover of the skin, superficial fascia, deep fascia of the water back of arm. So you can tell even the one which will be there now in front. Now this can be said to be as this thing. Intermuscular septum and periosteum of the water that of the posterior part of the water that of the humerus. This is the deeply. And these things are said to be as which you talk as over posteriorly, that can be as the what superficial. When you talk about the posterior part of the any body, you can talk either deep superficial or in front and behind. That can be valid. So this compartment which will be there, this is called as the posterior compartment of arm or extensor compartment of arm. Now in these compartment, you have got muscles. You have got muscles here as well as here. Then you have got vessels. 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 And nerves. Vessels, you have got the three varieties: arteries, veins. Here also arteries, veins. So you have to deal accordingly. Now you have to deal about the what myology of arm, both anterior compartment and the posterior compartment. Now out of this we will go for anterior compartment. So I will take this part out, then I will go myself into the what? The myology of anterior compartment of this arm. So myology of the anterior compartment of the arm, it will be related to this. So myology of arm, especially anterior compartment, especially the anterior compartment of arm, even that is called as the flexor compartment of arm, because all muscles which are there, they does the what flexion of the elbow joint majoritarily, and these muscles are present in front of periosteum of the water, that of the humerus, which will be covering the anteromedial anterolateral surface of the water, that of the humerus, medial lateral intermuscular septum of the arm, and fully under the cover of that of the skin, superficial fascia and the deep fascia of the front of arm. Hence, this is called as an anterior or flexor. Now, in this, in order to know, you should have the what some diagrams. Now, that diagram is the what now you should know. So, this is what the water, that of the you can say glenoid cavity of the water scapula, not entirely. You should know this. Then the water, that of the compact process you should know. Then you should know this is how the humerus you should know about. Humerus you should know entirely. So this is what? This is the capitulum. This is the medial epicondyle. This is the coronoid process. This is the coronoid fossa, for which the coronoid process of the water ulna comes and fits. This is the trochlea. Then you will be having, this is the radial fossa. This is coronoid fossa. This is the radial fossa of humerus. Then this will be the what you should know about the radius, head. This is the radial tuberosity one must. This is the coronoid process of ulna. This is the what? Ulnar tuberosity. You should know for the explanations. So without this you can't go the further. this is what the outline. So you will be getting. So this is the outline of a arm. Now you will be having the muscles. Now in the anterior compartment, you know that these muscles are located. Now out of this, you will be having the first muscle. Now that muscle is that of the coracobrachialis. Coracobrachialis. Second is that of the bicep brachii. Third, brachialis. Now these three muscles are present. Now out of this, we will go first coracobrachialis. Now the coracobrachialis is the muscle. The one which will be present. In the anterior compartment of the water, that of the arm. Now this muscle is the small ripper-like muscle which is present in the anterior compartment or the flexor compartment of the arm. Now this muscle, it will be originating from that of the tip of the corcoid process of the scapula along with that of the short head of the bicep brachii, the next coming muscle. From that point of origin, it will be running downwards and towards laterally in the anterior compartment, and it will be soon has got the piercing point made by that of the musculocutaneous nerve. That is musculocutaneous nerve, which is 2.5 centimeter from the point of origin of that of the, you can say, coracobrachialis. After having the piercing point made by that of the, you can say, musculocutaneous nerve, this muscle will be going to run further down and towards laterally to get insert on medial aspect of this act of the that of the humerus, exactly opposite to the deltoid tuberosity. That is deltoid tuberosity. Exactly opposite. It comes and gets attaches there. So this muscle has got the origin, has got the insertion and the nature. And the nature of this is like this. Nature of this is like this. You one must know about. Now, after having had this, this you can say coracobrachialis muscle is having the nerve supply. The nerve supply for the that of the coracobrachialis is by musculocutaneous nerve, having the root values C5, C6, C7 from the lateral cord of the brachial flexus. Now this coracobrachialis muscle, which will be there, it will be having in front Skin or superficial fascia, deep fascia, cutaneous nerves, cutaneous vessels, and overlapping made by the water, that of the, where we can say short head of the bicep at a small part. Then it will be going to have a fat and cutaneous nerves. Now behind to this, the water, that of the, where you can say first part, I mean to say the axillary artery, and the water, that of the branches of that of the axillary artery, third especially. Then you have got the water, that of the laterally and medially, you have got the branches of lateral part of the brachial plexus, and the water, that of the medially, you have got a majority of that, you will be going to have little bit medial branches of medial cord of the brachial plexus, they will be going to start arising. But still behind to this, you will be going to get the branches of posterior cord of the brachial plexus in a rampant way. So this will be the relation. Apart from that, now relation, you should know the action. Now the action of this muscle coracobrachialis is mainly two. One is what? This you can say muscle does the water, that of flexion of the water, that of the shoulder, one, because that muscle is crossing that joint. Second action, forward movement and drawing the water, that of the humerus towards medially. So rather you can put it in one way, flexion of shoulder and adduction of shoulders. This is one. One is the flexion. Second, you will be going to get the flexion as well as adduction of the shoulder, especially in the time of when you will be walking, swinging of arm, getting that arm at very much closer, nearer to the what anterior medial plane. So that can be the what other action. Apart from that, this you can say coracobrachialis muscle also does the what raising the what, that of the arm, raising the arm, very small part. Then you will be going to get the next muscle in the anterior compartment is the what, that of the bicep brachii. The bicep brachii, as the name itself suggests, it has got the two heads in it, hence the name. Bi means two. Now this bicep brachii, it is a muscle belonging to the what, that of the anterior compartment or the flexor compartment of the arm. Now this bicep brachii, as you know already, now at this present moment you have got the two heads. One head is called as a what, long head. Another is called the short head. Now coming to the what, the short head of the bicep brachii, it takes origin from the what, that of the tip of the purport process along with the what, that of the coracobrachialis. This muscle will be going to run straight way and downwards and towards medially, hand in hand with the what, that of the coracobrachialis, and it joins laterally to the what, long head. Joins laterally to the long head. Long head. So this is the long head. Especially in the what, middle of the shaft or middle of the arm. In osteological language, shaft middle. Now coming to the long head of the bicep, it takes origin from the what, that of the sacral ligament tubercle of the what, scapula. From that it will be going to run upward tendinous, and this muscle will be the what, initially in the what, intracapsular, and then it will be going to run towards the laterally, covering over the what, anatomical neck of the what, that of the humerus, and then it will be going to pierce the what, that of the capsule of the shoulder, and then it will be lodging in the intertubercular groove, which is formed by the greater tuberosity laterally, lesser tuberosity of the what, upper end of the humerus, and then suddenly it becomes a musculature and joins to the water that is the short head of the water that is the bicep breaker. Bicep breaker. Bicep breaker. Short head of the bicep breaker it joins. This is the short head, this is the core. Then these both together, they become a one musculature in the middle of the water arm, and then it runs downwards just in front of the water that of the brachialis, next successorial muscle, and then it runs into the front of the elbow, becoming the content of the elbow, content of the water that of the cuboidal fossa, then it little bit terminates towards the laterally and get inserted on medial portion of the water that of the radial tuberosity. This is the radial tuberosity. This is the radial tuberosity. And the what anterior part of the water that of the radial tuberosity. Majority is the what posterior part of the water radial tuberosity. It get attached. So you will be having this muscle. What here? This muscle itself is called as a bicep breaker. Bicep breaker. Now this bicep breaker has got the what two heads. One is a long and another is a short. Its origin is long is like this and short is from here. Both, and this is the point of insertion. Now coming to the relations. Relation of the water that of the bicep breaker. Relation of the water that of the bicep breaker. Now in the anterior compartment, this is what the water bicep breaker. This is the water another muscle. Now here you have got the remaining all this thing. In front you have got the skin, superficial fascia, deep fascia, cutaneous nerve, cutaneous vessels are from front. Behind you will be having a muscle. This muscle is called the brachialis. Brachialis. Next coming muscle. And you have got the one nerve here, filaments. Now those filaments are called as what? Musculocutaneous nerve filaments. Filaments. Then the what vessels? Profonda breaker vessels. Veins, arteries, you will be getting. So this is the behind and in front. Then after this, what is the nerve supply for this? You can say bicep breaker. Nerve supply for the water that is the bicep breaker. Bicep breaker is by the water that is the musculocutaneous nerve, which is having the root values. Which is having the root values. That is what is said to be as the C5 and C6. Now these C5 and C6, which are the small roots which will be supplying to this muscle, but it is by the water musculocutaneous nerve which is derived from the lateral cord of the brachial plexus. Having a root value is this, but having coracobrachialis root value is this one will be extra, that extra is not there. Now, this is what the bicep breaker. Now you will be going to have a third, is called the brachialis. Now the brachialis is a muscle belonging to the water that of the, you can say, anterior compartment of the water arm. Now this brachialis muscle, it is present behind the water that of the bicep breaker, but in front of anteromedial and anterolateral surface of that of the humerus, and as well as anterior and post, means medial and lateral intramuscular septas. Now this you can say brachialis muscle, it takes origin from the water that of the anteromedial and the anterolateral surface of that of the humerus, as well as the water medial and the lateral intramuscular septum. From all these points of origin, this you can say muscle, location of this, it will be there here. So this will be the what brachialis origin, and then it will be get inserted on after running in front of the aortic elbow joint, or it will be sweeps the water in the cuboidal fossa, forms the water floor of the water that of the cuboidal fossa along with the capsule of the water that of the elbow joint, and get inserted on ulnar tuberosity. So this is what, after having had this you can say brachialis muscle has got the relations. In front, the brachialis muscle is related to the skin of superficial fascia, deep fascia, cutaneous nerves, cutaneous vessels, and the bicep brachii. But behind this you can say brachialis is related to periosteum of the water that of the humerus, anterolateral anteromedial surface of that of the humerus, and also medial and the lateral intramuscular septors. So this is what. Apart from that, it is in front related to this filaments of the water that of the musculocutaneous nerve, and the water vessels coming from the water that of the profunda brachii, artery and the veins corresponding. Now after having had this, now what is the you can say nerve supply for this? Nerve supply for this brachialis. Nerve supply for the brachialis is by two ways. One is called as what? Musculocutaneous nerves having a root values C5 and C6, and oftenly this is the main C5 and C6. Apart from this, one more is there, additional filament of radial nerve. So radial nerve additional filament that will be supplying a small portion of it, especially the lateral part of this. Now the question is what for both muscles such as bicep brachii and this brachialis, action what we have not done. Action of bicep brachii, it is first flexion of elbow joint. This is the first prime because it is crossing that joint. Second action of this, it is a powerful supinator. You know what is the meaning of supination? In the general anatomy, when we are there, we are told. Now the action of this brachialis, it is nothing but the what? Flexion of elbow joint, and sometimes it also goes into the water extensions, but it is not extension. Majorly it will be the water flexion of the elbow. Even telling to that extension is wrong because it is supplied by that musculocutaneous nerve and it is placed there. So this is what the actions. So what all those three muscles are there in the what anterior compartment of the arm, anterior compartment of the arm. Those are the coracobrachialis, bicep brachii and the brachialis. All these three muscles, you should know the origins, you should know the insertion, you should know the relations, you should know the what that of the nerve supply. Not only this, you should know the action, because if anything went wrong to these muscles, their action will be going to get hampered. Now this action is definitely by the what? Interlinked or interlacered with the what nerve supply to that muscle and also the joints. So the person comes to you after becoming a doctor by you with those impaired moments, impaired actions, which is caused by not only the joint but also the nerve innervations. This is one. Second, this is the applied part. Second, you should know if any nerve filaments or roots are going to get damaged either at the course or at the roots. These muscular activities will be going to get hampered. So this is the neurological things where you have to do. With this, the muscles which are present in the anterior compartment of our arm is got over. Thank you for patiently listening.